Hello and welcome. You join me, ADG123, for race 6 of the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship hosted by the Mature Racing Club. And this week we've already done one race in this same night we do these races, which is a Friday. So we've already had race 5 before this. I'll explain that in a second, but this is race 6. And it's at Autopolis International Racing Course, and that's I believe it's a made-up track, and it's in Japan. Well, it's made up, but it's based in Japan. So just to explain, it's a reverse grid. So we've got Haas in pole position, but unfortunately finished the 5th race in last place, so finds himself in pole for race 6, and so on down the grid. In the Megane there, Renault Megane, Diablo in 2nd, in the Peugeot, Dark Smoker in 3rd in the Mazda, Rafael in 4th in the Megane, Steve Stones in 5th in the Subaru, Viale in 6th in the Ferrari, Coalition in 7th in the Porsche. We've got ADG123 me in 8th in the Honda NSX, and Robust the Hood, winner of the last race, race 5, in 9th. So without much further ado, I'm going to mix it up slightly, and I hope no one minds that watches these regularly, but it won't be half an hour long, it'll be a bit longer because I'm going to watch these first 2 laps from a few different perspectives. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Watch from Hazard's to start with, and then we'll watch from 2 other different perspectives and watch for 2 laps as well. So here we go anyway, and I'll kind of explain why. So yeah, it's just because there's too much action going on really, so I can't commentate on everything and give it any kind of justice. There's that much going on these first few laps. Anyway, we're away. So a bad start there from Haas. Looked like he got caught out a little bit and his wheels spun it off the line, so now dropping back drastically and ends up going from pole into pretty much last place, now in last place. So terrible start there from Haas. Hope you don't mind on me picking up on that, Haas, but yeah, you didn't do yourself any favours there. That was a bad start and dropped right back. But as you can see up front, there's a lot of action going on. We've got me trying to challenge Viale. I end up hitting the back of him. So then Viale goes wide, comes back across the track, and then has nowhere to go. So I've already kind of ruined our race at the back here with one little moment. So I do apologise, Viale. My fault completely. Got it wrong on the brakes and went into the back of you unintentionally. So sorry about that. But yeah. Haas ended up straightening you out anyway because of the contact he couldn't avoid. So Haas now down the inside of me, getting the braking done, and gets up into 8th place. We see Diablo in front, dropping off the track and dropping down into 7th. I think someone's told me 7 o'clock in the morning, they said, I think. Was that right? I can't remember now. I think you've said 7 o'clock in the morning it is when Diablo races. So it's early, but it's manageable just about. Me personally, I get up at about 6:30, so I've got no sympathy. So massive contact again for Haas. Just feels like he can't get any luck whatsoever probably. And gets a tap from, I missed it there, but we'll see it in a minute from another perspective. And yeah, unfortunate start for Haas here. So he finds himself battling away and having a bit of bad luck already on lap 1. So I know normally I'd skip forward and watch whatever's going on a bit closer together up front, but just stick with Haas for this 2nd lap. So he got me absolutely miles behind now. Already ruined my race, and possibly Viale's if there was damage on, I certainly would have done. coalition soldier has gone off again, just rejoining the track and not really realising that Haz is there, so gives him room after a little touch of contact, but nothing major, so realised his mistake by the look of it and let Haz pass straight away as soon as he realised he was there. It's hard rejoining the track and making sure you don't get in anyone's way. They're coming up a lot faster than you expect when you're going so slowly. I know that's an obvious thing to say, but it really can catch you out quite easily. So Haz now finding himself back in 9th place, and I've made it up into 7th and Coalition's now in 8th. So we're coming towards the end of the second lap, so when we get to that point we'll stop it there for Haz and give someone else a look. So I've gone wide there, gather it all back up, get it back on track, but I've dropped back into 9th. I'm just having so many problems on these opening laps, not knowing the track very well, and not really liking my Honda that I've picked, if I'm honest. But that's my problem. Won't worry you guys. So anyway, yeah, I've completely ignored the fact that we're on lap 3, so back to the start we go. There's a bit of a strange feeling here where you've got to pause it and whatever to get it started from the start again. There we go. So we'll skip the angles up again and then watch it from Dark Smoker's view. Skip 10 seconds just so we're not waiting for ages for the start. So Dark Smoker now watching. So starting in 3rd, higher up the grid, and let's see what he does and what happens around him. So we've got that bad start from Haz that we've already seen. And then Dark Smoker making the most of it up into 1st straight away, and he's got Steve Stones down his inside. A little bit of contact but nothing major, no real contact actually, just running a little bit wide, Steve Stones, and Dark Smoker giving him a touch of more room than they probably would have liked. Diablo now diving down the inside up into 1st. Rafael down the inside of Dark Smoker, so Dark Smoker into T1 looking at 1st place. Now he's looking at 5th place all of a sudden, with Coalition flying past him as well. He's got Robus the Hood ramming him from behind, by accident obviously, but contact from behind from Robus. Brings Robus up side by side with Coalition because Dark Smoker went into the back of Coalition because the Robus has hit. Oh, it's so much to talk about. Steve Stearns obviously up front chasing away, and Dark Smoker finding himself getting caught by Coalition and Robus at the same time. Robus making the opportunity down the inside of Coalition and trying to get past Dark Smoker at the same time. Rafael having a moment off on the grass. Steve Stearns getting past him nicely up into 1st place. Shame for Rafael dropping back from 2nd. Now we've got Robus and Coalition still battling away through the corners. Robus into 3rd now. Rafael into 5th. Steve Stone's going a little bit wide with a moment of underseer. Slowing Dark Smoker down through that corner because he didn't really have anywhere to go. So Robus right on the back of him now. And so is Coalition, he's right on the back of Robus. Dark Smoker having a good lap here though. So a good 1st lap. Dropped down into 5th, was in 1st, dropped down into 2nd, then into 5th, then up the order again, they were back up into 2nd, so good start and good entertaining racing from Dark Smoker. Just whilst we're at it as well, quick mention for him, he has does YouTube videos as well of similar kind of races and streams as well that he does, so if you're interested in this kind of stuff and watching more of it and different people, then check him out. He's pretty new to it as well, I believe, like myself, so he's learning as well, but it's hopefully in a way you kind of like that because you see a bit of progress week by week, and I'd like to think, but I'm probably completely wrong. Anyway, I'll get back to the race. Dark Smoker's in first, but yeah, I haven't really finished what I was saying, so without getting back to the race quickly, I will mention, where's he gone? I've forgotten his name now. Dark Smoker, I'm watching him. I got confused then for a second. Dark Smoker's got his own YouTube channel, and same with Coalition Soldier, and he also does streams and videos of various different races on Gran Turismo. So go check them out. If you like me, you'll probably like them as well, so check out what they're doing. So anyway, back to Dark Smoker. He's holding first place. He's got Robust the Hood and Steve Stearns and everyone racing around behind him all over the place. And he's gone a little bit wide, so giving Robust the opportunity. He's trying to get the line right probably to run it up the hill nicely, but he ended up understeering it and going a little bit deep into the corner. So then Robust has ended up hitting in the back of him because there's nowhere to go through these corners. And then he's dropped back, so Steve Stearns now in second place. And unfortunately, that's the end of Dark Smoker's 2 laps. Well, be fair to him, he'll actually finish the lap. Side by side, Robust the Hood and what's it called? Steve Stearns. Very professional, I know. Right, so who else did I put down? Rafael. So let's watch it from Rafael's perspective now. Do the weird pause, play, give me the replay from the start thing. So let's skip all 30 seconds right to the start. Maybe watch it from this angle instead, just to mix it up a bit. So we've got Rafael now, setting off in 4th place, dropping into 5th straight away. In fact, we'll be fair to everyone in these first 2 laps and watch it from the same perspective. So a bit of contact. In fact, I messed that up completely, so I'll go back 10 seconds. So we've got everyone running side by side, Has dropping back as we've already know. Diablo getting a tap from Rafael as he comes across in front of him. Dark Smoker going a little bit wide and giving the place to Steve Stearns into T1. Being pushed slightly wide, saying that. And Rafael finding himself all of a sudden slipstreaming himself up into 3rd place with only a few corners in. Steve Stearns having a bit of a moment to stop into the outside, means that he's got the bad line for the inside. He's got the line for the inside of the corner, but not the line to carry the speed, so Rafael can carry the speed a little bit more through this section now. And Steve Stearns sensibly probably dropping back there to avoid contact side by side through that one. So Rafael now up into 2nd place. Looking back, everyone's so close by, but Rafael having a moment, hitting Diablo into that corner, slow corner, so it's understandable why it happened. They just got it wrong on the brakes into lap 1. It's easy to do, but yeah, went into the back of Diablo hard there, so rammed him off. It was waiting for him, as we can see. So Rafael having to drop back and wait as best he can without getting in anyone's way. Is it? I hope it is, yeah. Oh, so I ended up getting in Viali's way just because Viali were probably following his line, to be honest. So there he is, but Diablo is giving him the place back, so Rafael's back on the way. Viali's had an unfortunate incident or 2 already on the first lap from both me and now, well, from it happening there as well. So Diablo back in 5th place, not where he was in 1st, but Rafael now from 2nd place into 6th, waiting for him. So a bit of a shame for these guys, but all sorts, like I say, happening on this first lap, so it's quite interesting. I need a drink, I've already talked so much. So yeah, quite a good race already. And we're only 2 laps in, even though we're about 20 minutes in probably, with me waffling on. So we see up front as well, Coalition Soldier going off, having a big moment, and it's going to take a while to recover from there. So dropping back, unfortunately. again, because I mainly talked about Dark Smoke, I'll just repeat it. Coalition Soldier has a YouTube channel as well, so if you're interested, check it out. You possibly all do, and I just don't know, so I'm guessing we can all find each other in some way or another. Anyway, so Rafael having a bit of a mixed first lap, but finding himself getting back into the race. The guys in front are only there. First place, Dark Smoker is only right there in front of him, a couple of seconds. Robert Sahud C dropping back there into third, and Steve Stearns taking second in front. Again, it was a good perspective from Rafael, just being able to watch everyone in front and Rafael catching up. No one really behind him now though, so it's no pressure, it's just these top 5 have broken away for the time being. You might not see much of me in this race as well. I had an absolutely terrible race. I'm beginning to absolutely hate that Honda NSX. So yeah, won't show, it'll just be embarrassing what I do show of myself. So I'll try not to, I'll obviously skip past myself at times, but you won't see much of me in this race. That's the beauty of making my own videos, I guess. I ended up coming last and having a proper bad one, like I say. So nothing really to mention about it other than a lot of mistakes and a lot of wasted time. So anyway, we're on to lap 3 now, so we'll start skipping through the order. On lap 3 we want Diablo and Robos really. So Robos has now moved up into first place. Really good move from Robos to do that as well. Bit of an argy-bargy move, if I remember rightly, watching it back on Dark Smoker, but at the same time he's in the hunt for the championship lead and win, so he's pushing even harder than everyone else it feels, and that little bit of contact, maybe you could argue he should have given the place back to Dark Smoker, but he's obviously racing hard and going for the wins in this championship, so fair play to him. And unfortunately it did result in a bit of contact in that case, because I've watched it, but yeah, maybe Dark Smoker would have felt like it would have been fairer to have first place back, but yeah, we can't speak for other people, so I'll just leave it at that, more or less. Anyway, we're on to lap 4 now, so we've got Rafael and Steve Stearns to watch on this one. We'll stick with Steve Stearns, we haven't given him a lot of coverage yet. We've watched Rafael already, so we'll mix it up with the camera now as well. So Steve Stearns in third place at the moment. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I've read this somewhere, that Steve Stearns is like one of those detective like duos. So there's, I think it's Stearns and Steele. So it's like one of those 90s detective things. So I've never seen a picture of Steve Stearns, but I imagine that he has this glorious moustache that he waxes every day. Anyway, just my imagination getting a bit carried away with the fact that he's a private investigator and all that. Obviously keep it to yourselves. Oh, we're trying to keep serious then, but I couldn't have a laugh. Just completely made that up, if you're wondering, by the way. So Steve Stearns now in third place, chasing Dark Smoker very closely. Dark Smoker's all over the back of Robert Sahud in first place, so we're on lap 4 and it's still a really close race for the win here. I know it's a half-an-hour race and we're only actually 7.5 minutes in, so there's a lot of racing still to go, but for the first 4 laps and certainly a few more, it's very close racing from these top guys. So we're on to lap 5 now. Stick with Diablo now. So he's chasing this little battle in front of him and he's trying to catch it all up. We've got Steve Stones going down the inside of Dark Smoker now. Bad angle to see what happens. Steve Stone's not quite managing it, so he's still in third place. Diablo catching them up though, because they're slowing each other down a little bit in front. Robert Sahud just trying to get his head down now. He's got a tiny little gap, so just trying to increase that slowly but surely, and try and get claw the win out of the race now. It's amazing what you end up saying, claw the win out of the race. Diablo getting right on the back of Stevie now, and down the inside, down the outside should I say. No, gave plenty of room to Steve Stones there, because he knew it was a bit of a dodgy situation trying to go down the outside through that corner, so gave room, but ended up bringing Rafael slightly closer to him because of that. So they've both slowed the race down a little bit, and Rafael's dropped back, and well, Rafael dropped back into it, not dropped back, and Rafael's caught up because he's probably had a good lap as well, saying that. So everyone's really close now, as you can see, into lap 5, towards the end of lap 5. Got everyone coming through within half a second, if that. A second maybe in some cases, but that's about it. Dark Smoker's probably got about a second to see Stones there. So yeah, we're on to lap 6 now. Stick with Rafael for a bit and Coalition. But Coalition right on the back of Rafael now have been brought into the race. Diablo going wide there, so dropping back into 6th place. Not good for Diablo, he's been having a good race so far. Coalition and Rafael making the most of that. Obviously now find themselves in 4th and 5th. So Diablo's now dropped back past by Ali as well. So we'll skip to that and see where they are. Pretty close together. So Diablo probably feels like he's got the pace to get back up there if he can get some good laps in, even though he's dropped back. And especially now Viali's gone off wide there, caught the wall and the bit of grass to slow him down. But he finds him Diablo catches him at a bit of an awkward moment, so Viali wisely actually, good driving there Viali, giving Diablo the place, otherwise that could have ended up nasty. And I know it's who's going to give the room, if you know what I mean. It's always the case in racing, but it was good of you in that case by Ali to drop out and let Diablo take the place. So good racing from everyone again this week in both races, not just this one, race 5 as well. We've got Rafael right on the back of Coalition again. The Coalition, Steve Stone's going a little bit wide into there and dropping a bit of speed down this straight, so finding himself all of a sudden getting attacked by both Coalition taking 3rd place and Rafael taking 4th, but good moves. This is what I mean about it was slightly touring carry this race, and I personally quite enjoy it. It's good to see, but so long as no one's getting massive hits, then that's what I mean about it being a bit touring carry, being a bit argy-bargy and touching each other through the corners a little bit, but that's all part of close racing, I guess, especially when you're in these kind of cars and you are side by side through these tricky corners, especially this kind of one with a massive hump and slightly off camber and well, off cambered hump crest kind of corner, hairpin. And that's how I'd kind of describe it in about 20 words instead of 2. So I've lost what lap we're on, 7. get back to Viale now because he's having a bit of a better race than being smacked about by a few people right on the first lap. He's managing to get a better race in now, chasing Diablo. We've got Haz, we'll skip back to Haz, not really mentioning much, chasing him not far behind as well. And we've got me far in the distance somewhere, probably screwing up in a couple of corners time, so yeah, bit of a battle going on at the back as well, worth mentioning. Although Diablo was further up, he's dropped back and then got back himself back up another position into 6th place. So he's doing quite well considering that he ended up dropping right back with a big mistake. So we're on to lap 8 now. We've got Haz chasing Viale. Viale, as you could see there as a skip back, was having a big moment, locked it up, it looked like, I had a bit of a skid, for want of a better word, on the brakes and on the rear tyres. Bit of oversteer and then lost time, so Haz is right in this battle now, right on the back of Viale. And Diablo's not far in front as well, so chance to make up a few places, especially as Diablo goes wide, hits the barrier, and luckily he was far enough in front to hit the barrier and come back across the track without collecting Viale. And Haz, unfortunate for Diablo there, but just pushing that a little bit too hard maybe, but yeah, it's given Viale and Haz a position, so they're getting further and further up into the race, slowly but surely. And halfway through now, they're climbing up. It's good to see. Again, Haz having an unfortunate start and get my words out. I'll start again. Haz having a very unfortunate start on lap 1 and dropping back to 9th place. It's good to see him back in 7th place. He's made a few places back up. So on lap 9 or thereabouts, we'll skip to Coalition as he goes down the inside of Dark Smoker for 2nd place. Dark Smoker goes wide and gives him plenty of room, so they end up side by side, but because of that both slowed each other down into that corner. Rafael's right behind him and he dives down the inside, so the 3 wide through there for a second. 3 wide, it's worth a little shout. Well, that was good. So yeah, Coalition making the best of that and up into 2nd place, and Dark Smoker all of a sudden finding himself in 4th place behind Rafael. So wondering what the hell's gone on there all of a sudden, but that's how close this race seemed to be. You made one little mistake or one little moment here and there, or a bad couple of laps lap time wise, then you were dropping back. So really good to see. We've got Steve Stearns chasing as well in 5th place, not far behind, so it's a really good battle still going on, and we're on lap 9 and we're halfway through a half an hour race. I know there's no tyre wear and fuel usage, so that would come into play if that was the case, but yeah, because of that, in fact, it makes for really good racing, so you can keep really close for lap after lap after lap. You can as well with fuel and tyre wear, but some cars suffer more than others, and it does drop them back within quite quickly in the race. So heading on to lap 10, we'll join Dark Smoker and Rafael. We'll just watch it from Steve Stearns' perspective, watching them up front, and obviously Steve Stearns driving as well. We're heading on to this lap, we'll skip to Dark Smoker, and again mix up the camera angle a bit. Dark Smoker's looking to get back past Rafael and get me 2nd place back, ideally, if not first, but I think Roberts has pulled too much of a lead now to be able to catch easily. So Roberts having a really good race again, and getting 2 wins this week, I believe. I've spoiled the end, but I'm sure most of the people that watch this know the end. Good close racing here from Dark Smoker and Rafael, chasing each other, and Coalition chasing each other corner after corner after corner, getting the braking done right so they're not running into the back of each other, being respectful to each other, and just chasing each other and trying to claw that time in slowly. And just get the slipstream down the straight, slowly but surely, just take it nice and calmly. Oh, Dark Smoker going wide, saying that. Running a bit wide on the curve, end up collecting a bit of dirt and giving us a little moment, but nothing too major, and he's straight back on the back of Rafael, so didn't really slow him down too much. Looks good through this track. Autopolis does the Mazda. It was very competitive, looks like he's driving it really well. So we're heading on to lap 10, and got Steve Stones to catch up with now. We're chasing these guys. Just watching this battle for a while because it's quite a good one, to be honest. They're very close. You can see over action going on in the background. We'll skip back briefly as Viali and Coalition are very close into this corner. I missed this when I initially watched it, if I'm honest. So Viali right on the back of Coalition. We've got Haz getting mixed up in this as well now, so he's in 7th place and he's getting right onto the back of Viali in this little 3-car battle. So it's good to see again. 20 minutes into the race now, and good close racing from everyone, not massive gaps, and seeing as I've done quite a few races now of commentary, it's quite often the case that I don't actually have that great a race to commentate over. There's not actually that much action, so it's difficult to do, but this one's just been full of action from start to finish, so absolutely brilliant racing from everyone again, and I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I'm sure they did. Few moments where people could probably moan about, but all in all probably a really enjoyable race for most of us, apart from myself saying that, but just speaking for everyone else, I guess. So Coalition's still leading out this battle. Viali's having a bit of a moment there, letting Haz catch up a little bit more, but yeah, positions staying the same, but good close racing between the guys. So it'll start spreading out a little bit from now, if I remember rightly, and I'll just go back into this view so I can check the gaps a little bit easier. So Steve Stearns is quite close to the back of D-Smoker. I'm giving you a new name. You've had a few names. D-Smoker now in 3rd place with Steve Stearns behind. Step Stearns. Skip back because it's still pretty close between these guys. Keep an eye on this. As still in 7th place, so keeping, although he had a bad start, he's progressed through the race and been more and more consistent. Now he's having a good race out of it. I'll give myself a tiny bit of coverage right at the back in the Honda. Not a lot going on in front of him, not a lot of action to watch. Even if he isn't involved by Ali, as we skip to him having a spin. So getting it going now in 7th place, and Haz is now up into 6th place. So I missed that one on the notes again. I'm sorry about that. So I missed your spin. I guess you're quite happy by Ali, but if you watch this, but there you go. I did you a favour. Haz now taking 6th, like I've said. I think it's worth mentioning this race as well because it's a reverse grid race just towards the end. I know we've still got 7 minutes left, maybe even a little bit longer, but we had Haz, which is now in I'll skip through horribly like that. In 6th place we've got Diablo, which is now in 8th place, that started in 2nd, so has started in 1st, I didn't even say that. Diablo started in 2nd, now in 8th. Dark Smoker started in 3rd, still in 3rd, so consistent. Rafael in 2nd now, started in 4th. Steve Stones now in 4th, started in 5th. We've got Coalition Soldier that started in 7th, now in 5th. No. Have I got that right? I think I got that right. I've got no way of checking really. Then we've got, who else? Where was it up to? Has, no, I've done him already. Then we've got ADG, me, that's now in 9th, started in 8th. And we've got Robust the Hood, which started right at the back and now winning the race at the moment. Very good. Quite good from Robust again this week in both cars. He's the favourite for the championship, I put him as, in League 5. So anyway, we'll skip up, watch action. Coalition again, being involved in battles all the way through this race by the look of it, or chasing very closely. So looking at Steve Stones and Dark Smoker, watch them a bit more closely. Oh, we see Coalition. Oh, so he ends up getting down side by side through the corner and then just making a bit too much contact, a bit too heavy, and losing it because of it. So ended up going off in a big way. So going from 5th place down to 7th all of a sudden. Diablo might have a chance of a bit more of a race now at the back. So we've got Steve Stones and Has having an even better race. It just gets better and better for Has, so now up into 5th place. So he had 7th place for a long time and he just kept it clean and consistent and had a good race, and then it's paid off for him. A few mistakes in front have happened and he's ended up being in 5th place all of a sudden. So a good race from Has. Steve Stones now down challenging, well not down the inside but challenging closely on Dark Smoker in front. Subaru versus Mazda. There's only 4 minutes left now of the race. Some people might get an extra lap in, so it extends it slightly, but other than that, we're looking at a 4 minute finish. So everyone's pushing towards the end, especially the guys that can see the guy in front very closely and got a chance to get in that position. So nothing really going on towards the back now. The gaps have spread out a little bit. They're still chasing each other, but there's a bit of distance between those guys now. We'll stick with Steve Stones and Dark Smoker, and Rafael's just off away. Robust the Hood's on his own. So again, credit to him. We haven't given him a lot of coverage because he's been at the front for a little bit, but good race, Robust the Hood. Another good win. Rafael in 2nd, another good race from Rafael as well, having a good championship so far. Dark Smoker in 3rd, with Steve Stearns still chasing, so we'll stick with this for a while. As we're bringing the last couple of laps of the race. Like I say, it was a good one. Died off a little bit towards the end, but you can't ask for lap after lap, side by side action for 30 minutes really. It's a bit too much to ask. Inevitably mistakes creep in and pressure gets felt and confidence gets lost and all sorts happens through a race for each, with good clean racing and good close racing. So again, Steve Stearns not giving up, he's still right on the back. Dark Smoker's bumper. Not actually been noticed. that how he's managed to get his windows tinted. I don't know if that's an option in that car or something, but I've never seen that an option. I don't know if he can do that with livery and design and decals, but quite interesting. Be interested to know how you've done that, Dark Smoker, actually. So anyway, let's get everyone, give everyone a look as we get towards the end, as I've already said about 10 times. This is of course this little battle going on. So we've got Robust the Hood in first, Rafael in second, Dark Smoker in third, Sea Stones chasing closely. We've got Haas in fifth, Viali not far behind as well. Haas actually starting to get closer and closer to Sea Stones and the battle with Dark Smoker as well now. So Haas could even gain another place before the end. We'll keep an eye on that. Viali in 6th, Diablo in 7th. Had a mixed race as Diablo, a bit of a shame. Coalition in 8th. And me with my dismal race in 9th. Not seeing any action pretty much all the way through. I'm wondering how the hell this is what we're on about. I had moments like this through various laps, and I got a few clean laps in. I won out on every lap, but yeah, I had a lot of bad moments. A good opportunity to show how bad it was. Even though I'm highlighting my own mistakes, it's worth doing. I highlight other people's, so it's only fair that I highlight my own as well. So terrible driving from myself there, going spinning off. Anyway, we're getting towards the end, so we'll flick towards the action again. Haz is too far behind really, unless there's a mistake from Sea Stones or Dark Smoke and how to do anything. Rafael and Robust have a bit of a gap to them, so there's not a lot going on there unless Robust has any moment, but I don't believe it happens. And then we've got Dark Smoker still being chased by Sea Stones, so a good end to this race by these two, pushing to the last lap, and we are now on the last lap as well, so Robust has won the race. We'll keep watching this till the finish line, and then we'll follow everyone else in. So Steve Stone's battling till the very last corner, but unfortunately not paying off for him and not getting it done. And good driving and good racing from Dark Smoker, handling the pressure for that long. So good racing from everyone, but particularly a good end there from those guys. House coming in 5th, so good race from him. Good result. 6th taken by Viali. Diablo now coming across the line in 7th. We've got Coalition coming up next in 8th. So a good race again. Obviously not the best result for us guys at the back, but I think everyone will have enjoyed that race at some point, even though it might not have been the best result. I enjoyed it even in T1. That's about the best moment I had really, but I still enjoyed it to a point. And then me coming up in 9th place, miles behind. So a quick comparison with lap time, just as a look at my lap times. So Coalition there has done quite a few 152s and a 151 by the look of it. I was 154 at best. So not great in the Honda there, and like I said, didn't know the track brilliantly, so I didn't do myself any favours there. So not surprisingly coming in last place and making everyone wait ages as well whilst I do it, because I'm that far behind, and come across the line, so that's the end. So yeah, I'll say it again, another great race from the MRC GTTCC Championship, Group 5, and thank you very much for all providing such good action to watch and commentate over again. If you haven't subscribed already, give us a subscribe if you've liked it. If you haven't, then don't. But yeah, I try my best, and hopefully add something to this league that you wouldn't normally get in other leagues and stuff. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Give us a like if you've enjoyed this. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. And I've been ADG, and I'll catch up with you soon. And yeah, really enjoyed that. So cheers again. See you later.